Dear child, today, the angels wish to share a profound truth with you. A message about someone whose feelings for you are deep and powerful, but who is struggling to express them on the surface. This person may appear calm and composed, but beneath the exterior, they are facing an inner turmoil that they are unsure how to handle. Despite the moments of joy and connection you have shared, they are caught between wanting to grow closer to you and being afraid to reveal what they truly feel. This internal struggle is weighing heavily on their heart, and they find themselves torn between keeping silent and giving in to the emotions that seem to overwhelm them. The angels want you to understand that the silence this person has chosen is not because they don't care or because they are indifferent. In fact, it is quite the opposite. Their silence is a protective shield they have built to guard themselves against the intensity of their feelings. They are afraid that if they open up and let their true emotions show, they will lose control of the situation or perhaps even risk something precious. The more they try to keep their feelings hidden, the more they are reminded of just how deeply they care about you. This person has been silently grappling with their emotions, and though they try to distance themselves, they cannot escape the reality of how much you occupy their thoughts at night when they are alone with their own mind. They find themselves wondering why they can't just let go of their feelings. They think about you more than they care to admit, and the weight of these unspoken emotions keeps them awake, restless, and uncertain about how to proceed. Their efforts to keep their distance are not out of a lack of affection, but out of a deep fear that their vulnerability could lead to heartbreak or loss. The angels wish for you to understand that this person is not simply avoiding you. They are avoiding the truth that lies within themselves. They are scared of what would happen if they allowed themselves to fully embrace what they feel in their silence. They are trying to protect their heart. But the truth is, the more they try to shield themselves, the more they find themselves trapped by their own emotions. They are beginning to realize that their silence is not protecting them from the depth of their feelings. It is, in fact, making things more difficult for them. The longer they suppress their emotions, the stronger those emotions grow, and the more they feel torn between what their heart wants and what they fear. What this person feels for you is not an attraction. It is something deeper, a connection that makes them feel alive and vulnerable. At the same time, they are experiencing a profound pull towards you, one that they cannot ignore or deny, even though they may try. Their heart tells them one thing, but their mind is filled with doubt and fear. They are at a crossroad, unsure whether to take the risk and open up to the possibility of something real and meaningful, or to continue to play it safe and avoid confronting their true feelings. The decision weighs heavily on them, and the angels want you to understand that this is not an easy choice for them. You may find yourself wondering why this person remains silent, why they don't just come forward and express what they feel. The angels want you to know that love is not always loud or obvious. Sometimes love reveals itself in subtle ways, in a glance, a touch, a quiet moment shared between two people. The silence they are keeping may seem like a barrier, but in reality, it is their way of holding on to something they are afraid to lose. They are trying to protect themselves from the unknown, but their silence is only making the truth more apparent to them. The angels want to remind you that patience and understanding are key in this situation. Sometimes the quietest moments are the most meaningful, and the more you can trust in the unfolding of this connection, the more it will evolve. This person's silence is a reflection of their inner conflict. They are not sure how to handle the intensity of their feelings, so they remain distant, hoping that by keeping their emotions at bay, they will regain control. But the angels are revealing to them that silence is not the answer by staying quiet. They are not just pushing you away. They are also pushing away the very truth of what they feel. The more they try to hold back, the more they are beginning to realize that their silence is not protecting them, is only intensifying their emotions. They are learning that the only way to find peace is to face their feelings, to accept the vulnerability that comes with loving someone as this person watches you from a distance. They are filled with admiration for your strength, your courage, and your ability to live your life fully. But they are also filled with fear. Fear that they are not strong enough to take the risk of being vulnerable with you. Your light reminds them of the work they still have to do within themselves before they can fully embrace the connection between you. They are trying not to be overwhelmed by their feelings, but in truth they already are. Your presence in their life has stirred something deep within them, and they cannot ignore it any longer in the silence that have created. This person has been reefed every moment we have shared, every look, every word, every smile interaction. The more they try to push those moments aside, the more they realize that their silence is not keeping their feelings in check. In fact, it is only amplifying the emotions they are trying to avoid. The angels are revealing that this internal struggle is not something that will last forever. Change is coming, and this person will eventually find the courage to face their feelings and take the next step. The angels want you to know that even in silence, love is speaking. It speaks through the unspoken moments, the quiet gestures, and the heart that cannot deny what it feels. Trust in the process, for the truth will come to light when the time is right. This person may be silent now, but their heart is already speaking louder than their words ever could. This person is struggling with a deep inner conflict between the desire to be open and vulnerable with you and the fear that doing so might expose them to pain and disappointment. They once believed that staying silent would protect them from hurt and insecurity. But over time, they've come to realize that this silence is not offering the protection they hoped for. Instead, it's eroding their peace of mind and making it harder to move forward. Every time they try to let go or distract themselves, something always pulls them back to you, reminding them of what they miss: your presence, your connection, and making them feel more and more trapped in their own emotional turmoil. They don't just think about you. Occasionally, they deeply miss you in a way that surprises them. It's as if their heart is constantly drawn to you, even when their mind tries to silence that yearning. The silence they've been maintaining might seem like a sign of indifference, but it's actually a reflection of how overwhelmed they are by their feelings. There are nights when they lie awake, unable to sleep, replaying memories of what they've shared with you, or imagining what could have been if they'd acted differently. It's as though they're stuck in a cycle of regret, wishing they'd done things differently, but too afraid to face the truth. This person feels like an observer in their own life watching from a distance as the opportunity to act slips away. Paralyzed by fear and uncertainty, they wish you would somehow give them a sign, reassure them that you still care. But at the same time, they can't bring themselves to ask for that reassurance. Their pride, their fear of being vulnerable, and the anxiety about being rejected are creating a block that prevents them from taking the first step. It's a painful paradox. The more they desire to be closer to you, the more they fear the emotional pain that might come with opening up. They've tried to move on. They've tried to distract themselves by focusing on other things, hoping that time would help them forget you. But no matter how hard they try, they always find their thoughts returning to you. This is not just a fleeting attraction. It's a deep spiritual connection that goes beyond anything they can comprehend. They can't escape it, no matter how much they want to. They're beginning to realize that their silence isn't helping them avoid pain. It's actually creating more emotional distance and loneliness for you. This silence might feel like rejection or like the person has lost interest, but in reality, it's their way of protecting themselves from the intensity of their feelings for you. They've never felt anything like this before, and the depth of their emotions is both overwhelming and frightening for them. Love feels out of control, and the only way they know how to deal with that is by remaining silent. They fear that if they open up, they'll expose themselves to vulnerability and risk. But they also know that this silence is slowly suffocating the very connection they desire. The angels, however, are guiding both of you through this difficult period. They ask you to be patient and understanding with this person as they go through their own internal process of reflection. By respecting their space and allowing them to navigate this journey on their own, you're helping to create a solid foundation for a meaningful connection. The angels are present, guiding you both and encouraging you to trust in divine timing. This period of silence is not a permanent state, but rather a necessary part of the process that will eventually lead to something deeper for you. This silence is teaching you important lessons in patience, love, and understanding. It's an opportunity for you to grow in your own ability to love without expecting anything in return, and to stand firm in your own light, regardless of the other person's actions or inactions. This is a time for both of you to cultivate strength and faith in the connection you share. The angels want you to know that your love and presence are important to this person, even if they can't express it right now. Your support, your patience, and your unwavering belief in the connection you share are what will ultimately help them find the courage to open up. The person you care about is learning the value of love, and that love requires courage. They now realize that retreating and remaining silent was a mistake, and that nothing will change unless they take the first step. They're beginning to understand that love requires vulnerability, and they are facing the truth that if they don't act, they risk losing something truly special. They are starting to reflect on their own fears and the emotional walls they've built around themselves to protect against past pain. But they are slowly becoming aware that this silence is no longer serving them. Instead, it is keeping them stuck in a cycle of emotional paralysis. The angels want you to understand that this process of awakening is delicate and personal for them. They are going through deep introspection, revisiting every decision and unspoken word. They are reviewing their past choices, looking at the moments they shared with you, and wondering if they missed an opportunity. They're torn between wanting to open up and being afraid of how you might react. The fear of rejection, the fear that you might have already moved on, and the fear that you may no longer be available to them are all weighing heavily on their mind. But the angels assure you that this silence is not a sign of disinterest. In fact, it is a reflection of how much they are struggling with their own feelings. Their silence is not about rejecting you, but about the fear and vulnerability they feel in the face of something as intense as love. They fear that by opening up, they might expose their deepest emotions and risk being hurt. But at the same time, they are aware that by staying silent, they are missing out on something irreplaceable. This silence is a test of patience, faith, and trust. It is a time of growth for both of you. The angels encourage you to trust in the process, knowing that this time of introspection and self-reflection is helping both of you prepare for deeper, more genuine connection. The angels are guiding this person toward the realization that silence cannot last forever. They know that if they don't face their fears and take action soon, they could lose you for good. This fear of loss is what is slowly pushing them to confront their emotions and summon the courage to open up. This silence is not a rejection or a sign that the connection is over. It is a necessary stage in the journey toward deeper understanding and love. The angels are helping both of you grow during this time, preparing both of you for the moment when the silence will break and the truth will finally be revealed. The person you care about is learning to embrace vulnerability, to recognize the value of their feelings, and to take the risk of opening up. And while this process is challenging, it is leading both of you toward a future where true, lasting love can flourish. The angels are with you every step of the way, guiding you to stay patient, to trust in divine timing, and to know that whatever is meant to be will eventually find its way to you. You are not alone in this journey, and the love you share is powerful enough to overcome the challenges of silence and fear. Trust that everything is unfolding as it should, and that in time this person will find the courage to step forward and share what they have kept hidden in their heart. The angels are guiding you through a difficult time of silence, which may feel painful and uncertain. The absence of clear answers can lead to insecurity and doubt, but it's important to understand that this period is not without purpose. Both you and the person involved are undergoing a personal journey of growth, even if it seems like there is no movement. The other person, though silent, is processing the depth of their feelings. They need this space to understand the intent of what they feel, to strengthen their heart, and to prepare themselves to take the next step. At the same time, you are being invited by the angels to use this time to strengthen your own faith and your capacity to love true love. The angels remind you, respects the timing and process of everyone involved. This silence is like a test that asks you to remain peaceful and calm, creating an energy that will eventually encourage this person to break the silence and share their feelings when they feel ready. The angels want you to stay grounded in your light. Your peace and serenity will act as a beacon for this person, guiding them through their own doubts and fears. Even if you can't see it, they are already thinking about how to approach you mentally, rehearsing their words and preparing themselves for any reaction. This internal conflict where fear meets courage is a constant struggle. However, the angels show that love is slowly winning. This person is beginning to realize that the only way to find peace and move forward is to acknowledge their feelings and open up to you. In the meantime, the angels ask you to trust the process. Keep living your life to the fullest without allowing the waiting to take away your peace. Trust that what is meant for you will come when the time is right. While you continue on your journey, this person is being guided, and their transformation is unfolding. This silence, though painful, is not in vain. It is giving them the time they need to understand their emotions and recognize the value of what you share. Your openness, love, and serenity are creating an invisible bond that continues to inspire this person. They often imagine what it would be like to share their life with you, to break the silence and live out their feelings fully. These daydreams keep them connected to you and remind them of the depth and truth of what they feel every time they try to pull away. These thoughts bring them back, forcing them to confront the reality that you are a central part of their path as they go through this process of self-discovery and awakening. The angels ask you to stand firm and remain at peace. They know the waiting is not easy, and you may often wonder whether this person will ever find the courage to break the silence. But they also want to remind you that your ability to stay open and peaceful is creating an energy that inspires them from a distance. It's this energy of love, patience, and understanding that will in time give this person the strength and security they need to open up. This silence is not only teaching them about their own feelings, but is also transforming them. It's showing them that keeping their distance is no longer bringing them comfort, but only a deeper emptiness. They are beginning to see that the only way to resolve this inner conflict is by breaking the silence and expressing their feelings as they reflect on the moments they have shared with you. They are questioning how they ended up in this silence, realizing that they have let something precious slip through their fingers. This self-reflection is awakening a new understanding, a clarity that the love they feel for you is real, irreplaceable, and worth facing their fears. For the angels want you to know that despite their hesitation, this person is reaching a turning point. The desire to change, to stop hiding, and to express their feelings is growing stronger every day. As time goes on, it will become harder for them to ignore what they feel. They are starting to see that silence only creates more pain, not relief. God bless you, type. Amen. If you believe,